the face that runs the place.
Long live living.
Goodbye and good night.
It's gotten so warm lately, like to the points now where it's putting you off sleep. You're sticking to the couches. I don't know about yourself now, but I enjoy a heat wave, but there's moments.
Yeah, there's moments. I think when you can't use your hose anymore, I think that's the point in which where we're like, okay,
damn you, Irish water.
Bit of rain would have been in class by now.
It's been 15 days since the last rain. Do you know
18.
that? 18 days.
18 days.
There's some parts in the country where there's absolute drought now. So.
Yeah.
So
have you been spying on your neighbours, making sure they're not using their water hoses?
I don't really spy on my neighbours. So I've no reason to.
You should be, because you are encouraged to do that. You're encouraged to spy on your neighbours so they're not using their water hose.
Oh, I should get some sprinklers. That'll teach them.
You're not allowed to use them either.
Damn you, Irish water!
Yeah.
Welcome to another edition of The Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guides, right here on 90.3 Near FM, the EMC Podcast Network, and all good podcasting providers, including iTunes and Spotify. I'm Dave Cullen, and I'm joined by Sasha Banks and Bailey's next counsellor, Daragh Maher. Daragh, how are you this afternoon?
Not too bad. Hoping I can do a better job than Dr. Shelby did. Obviously, the years haven't been kind to him because he seems to have lost his touch a little bit.
He has, he's lost his temper straight away. What would your approach be? Or what would you do if you're in his shoes?
If I was in his shoes? Oh, that's a very good question. Well, I don't like to give my whole techniques away because obviously I still have to evaluate the relationship that between them and how frosty it's gotten. But from previous tapes that I've been given of Raw shows and other WWE events, in my professional opinion, I believe that they should just have a match.
It just makes sense.
You know, it just does.
Why didn't what's his name again?
Shelby.
Why didn't he just think of that?
He's obviously...
Because by the end he looked like he could have been a referee.
He's obviously a crook.
Oh, is he?
He must be a crook.
He's one of those Dr. Phil types.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of those made-for-TV doctors.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yes.
He's all in it for the fame.
Just for the fame. Just to get the name out there.
For shame. Anyway, we're coming...
For shame, Dr. Shelby.
The weather's getting to his heads. We're coming to you from Near FM Studios in the beautiful North Dublin village of Coolock. I'll be here giving you all the latest news, results, previews, rumours and more from the world of professional wrestling. This week's show we're going to be reviewing all the past week's action from WWE and previewing events coming up from the likes of OTT, Low Blows, Pro Wrestling Ulster and Main Stage Wrestling. All that to come, but first we're going to start as always with the news.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Also, good news, everyone.
We're going to put the music down again. That means one thing. It's a bit of sad news to start off the show this week. Matt Cappotelli has passed away after his second battle with brain cancer. Cappotelli's wife Lindsay wrote on Facebook, "Hey Team Cap, I've been struggling with what to say and how to say it, but I'll probably end up rattling, but here it goes. Today my love, my strong, sweet, beautiful love took his last breath at 3:30 a.m. and went home to be with Jesus exactly 1 year after his brain surgery. You think you'll be prepared for this when you know what's coming, but you just can't. The only person whose comfort I want right now is the one who can't give it to me. I miss him so much. I know he is now where he is now is so much better, but it doesn't change how much I miss him." He was 38 years old. Last June he underwent surgery after being diagnosed with a grade 4 glioblastoma brain tumour. 90% of the tumour he was able to be removed, but the remaining portion was so close to his brainstem. Lindsay wrote last month that when he met with Cappotelli's neurologist, and it was decided that it was at that point where he should discontinue treatments. Cappotelli, who appeared to be universally well liked by those who knew him, was one of the winners of season 3 of WWE's Tough Enough. He was an up-and-coming star in OVW until his first brain cancer diagnosis in 2005 led to the end of his in-ring career. John Hannigan, aka John Morrison, the other winner of the Tough Enough Season 3, posted about Cappotelli's passing, saying, quote, "My first best friend in the wrestling business, and to this day one of the best people I've ever known, Matt Cappotelli, has passed on. I'm gutted by the news. He inspired everyone around him, especially me early in my career. He is loved and he will be missed." So it's really sad news. I personally can sympathise with this sort of news because my father has had a similar sort of cancer before. Thankfully, he's still with us today.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a horrible thing, especially in his case where he was young and he was up and coming, and something like that took away his career.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And later on in his life, like he fought through it, but like
exactly, he did fight through. Unfortunately, it came back again, and he it's like I said, a year after the surgery, he unfortunately he passes away. It's horrible news. Like you were saying, John Morrison posting about it. Also, the Miz posting about it because he was the co-winner with Cappotelli in that Tough Enough season, wasn't it?
No, that was John Morrison. No,
those two were. Sorry, yes, yeah. I think wasn't it John Morrison? Yes, it was. Sorry.
The Miz was on a different season, I think.
Yes, the Miz was. Sorry, my apologies. The Miz, I think it was. I think it was that the Miz said that he was actually meant to get in a tag team with Cappotelli, before he made it to the main roster. And I think
is that right?
It was just. I think then that's when he had his first bout with the first time he got brain cancer. It happened. He was diagnosed, I should say, just before that they were going to go onto the roster together. So then Miz ended up just being a solos.
I gotcha.
And just sort of thinking then, what ifs really, if that did come to pass. But like I said, horrible news. Obviously, thoughts, prayers sent to his family at the moment. And all of his, like I said, all of his family, all of his friends, obviously going through a very difficult time, and we all wish him the best.
Absolutely, like he's a guy who we've seen on we were introduced from the Tough Enough, as we said.
Yeah, and
he's the guy who did try to fight his illness. He's been fighting for 13 years. Like it was 2005 since he started, so it's a long period when he's trying to fight it. So.
Exactly.
So again, we in the Kick Out want to extend our condolences to his widow and to all of his friends and family at this difficult time. But anyway, we'll move on at that point. We can put the music back up for this one, and we'll move on with news concerning Ruby Riott this week.
Yes, as people would have been aware, Ruby Riott was absent from Raw this week, and it appears she suffered a knee injury, which could leave her on the shelf for an extended period of time. WWE announced shortly before Raw this past Monday that Riott was injured during a house show over the weekend. It was confirmed by WWE later that Riott underwent an MRI on Monday, and she has suffered an MCL sprain in her left knee. WWE didn't put a timetable on Riott's recovery time or reveal the severity of the sprain, which will determine how long she will be out of action for. A less severe sprain would likely be a short-term injury of around 1 to 2 weeks, but a more serious sprain could leave her out for up to 6 months. Her last match was back on June 29th at a house show in Rapid City, South Dakota, where she wrestled Dana Brooke. Ironically enough, that was the show. Was that the show itself? It was actually, yeah. That was the show she injured herself in with a match with Dana Brooke. Sorry, my apologies. Riott and the rest of the Riott squad, which consists of Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan, have been featured on Raw over the last several weeks with backstage segments showing them throwing things around and causing mischief.
What's so funny about that?
I don't know. Just mischief.
They're about causing mischief. What's so funny about that?
I don't know.
Causing mischief is funny.
I don't know. It just sounded funny in my head when I said it, that's all.
Why? Can you imagine these not being kids or something like that? They're in a pram throwing things around.
I don't know. They're very mischievous bunch.
Can you imagine little Ruby throwing her teddy out of the cot?
They Dave, stop.
And Sarah Logan saying, I want more milk. And then you have Liv Morgan with a tutu who's doing a ballerina impression, but she falls over, sprains her ankle and cries. Actually, no, that's supposed to be Ruby Riott because she has an injured knee.
Please stop. I don't like. I'm nearly in tears laughing this. I don't even know why. It's only a word.
Mischief. Causing mischief.
Anyway, they were also served as a backdrop for the Bailey Sasha Banks feud. Oh, God.
In all seriousness, this
Oh,
is
yeah, I'm so professional right now.
it's grand.
God.
It's grand. We're making fun of it.
Okay.
In all seriousness,
Making fun of someone's injury. Awesome.
no, not that. We're making fun of the fact that they apparently quote cause mischief.
Yeah.
So, but like, but it's one of these things like because the Riot's got to been excellent since they've been on SmackDown. And in fact, they're excellent since they've been on the main roster because it's been between them and Absolution, and they're the guys who are doing it like right. Like,
Yeah.
so it's a real shame. I think Morgan and Logan be fine, but at the same time, she's the figureheads.
Yeah.
And she's the lady who probably over the next period of time will be in contention for the title. Who knows?
Exactly. Well, obviously there was a lot of upset among fans that she wasn't involved in the women's Money in the Bank match. Probably myself included in that because she is just a fantastic
There's
wrestler.
no excuse next time, that's for sure.
No excuse next time at all.
Well, to be fair,
And I think if she was to go on a solo run, or like if she was to be more of a leader type where she'd be more in the forefront of the Riot Squad,
right,
then her going for a title could be a great thing.
do you think maybe the reason she wasn't included in the Money in the Bank match, like for all we know, this knee injury could have been something that was certain to occur, and maybe that match was just the final straw that broke the camel's back, if you like?
Could have been,
Yeah.
but we're not to know. We can only go on the information that we were given that she injured herself in that match with Dana Brooke, and that's when there was no knowledge of it beforehand.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, we wish a speedy recovery. Some interesting news now.
She get back to her mischief.
So we can get back to her mischief. With a lot of them throwing their toys off the pram again.
Oh man!
And who knows? Maybe what are they called again? The guys who used to be in Absolution, they can join in as well. Cause mischief as well. Calling Becky Lynch names.
Deville.
Yes, the one. Call Becky Lynch names or something like that. Move on to another injury, but from an injury that's not really wasn't caused in the ring. It was caused from a car accident which Bray Wyatt was involved in last Friday.
On the way to the same show.
Indeed. How ironic is that?
Yeah.
TMZ obtains the accident report from the incident and wrote that Wyatt was seized for careless driving due to his failure to operate his vehicle in a careful and prudent manner. The report noted that Wyatt was inattentive while driving and didn't explain that any further. The report also says that it was a 3-car accident in which Wyatt was involved in, with Wyatt smashing into the car in front of him and causing that driver to veer left and hit another vehicle. Whether or not someone else was injured wasn't mentioned on the TMZ's article. Wyatt was travelling to the airport, as you mentioned, from this past weekend's house shows when the accident occurred, and is then transported to Tampa General Hospital by ambulance. He missed those weekend shows, and this week's Raw, WWE announced on Monday that he has suffered multiple injuries and has had to total his car but had been released from the hospital. WWE has yet to post an upgrade on his condition, though they've continued to advertise Wyatt and Matt Hardy defending the Raw Tag Team titles against the B Team, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, for the July 15th edition of Extreme Rules pay-per-view. It also noted that Wyatt was in good spirits when he talked to them on Monday, and he has told him that he is moving around. So at least it's getting better, but it's a strange incident at the same time, especially if he wasn't carefully driving. Exactly.
It's an interesting story that it's careless driving. I think what happened, as far as I'm aware, was that he was driving and he caused it. His dangerous driving caused the person in front of him to veer to the left, and as they veered to the left, that car hit an oncoming car as well.
So he crashed into someone, and maybe the driver in front
pushed
of him
it out to the left, and then hit another one,
But it sounded things like he caused it then, so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yes, yeah.
Either way, like, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
So sometimes, see, this is like, I like to think, like, if he was in, I hate to make a joke out of this, but like, it's one of those situations where you see Bray Wyatt and he's in the dark going into the ring, and he has those torches. Maybe I presume it was nighttime. Like, was he using his lights?
Well, I don't know.
It's a stupid thing to say.
I don't know.
I'm trying to be funny now in the back of that Mischief thing.
Maybe he was telling people that he was here and then he just blew out his lights.
Naturally, that would cause a car accident. Yeah. It's not as funny as causing Mischief, though.
Hello, traffic. I'm here.
That's horrible. No. In all seriousness, we hope he gets better. And to miss out on the tag team match. Like, imagine if the B team were just against Matt Hardy then.
Well, the way it has been for the last while, Matt Hardy hasn't got a good record in singles action against the B team, so
I'm enjoying the impersonations for the B team, though.
Sorry?
I don't know about yourself. I'm enjoying the impersonations.
I do like it, obviously, because Bo was being Bray, and we know that whole connection there. And
you know, Bo, Bray, that whole connection there. But no, like, in the end of the day, like, it's a filler, but it's an entertaining filler. So, you know,
exactly.
Like, regardless of the match quality, sometimes that makes up for it at times. You know, for me it does anyway. If we have to be super nice about it, if you like, which isn't always the case, certainly from yourself. But anyway, that's that. Well, you're right. Well, let's be honest. Now, you can't deny that, can you?
Yeah, come on now.
Who rants more on this show about WWE?
Who's been doing it more recently?
Still you do.
Who's been doing it more recently?
Yeah.
It has not been me. Liar.
It's been me.
Liar.
No. I grant you, I've done it more often lately, but you still do it more than the pair of us. You could do it for both of us. You could. Not criticising you, like you've every right to. We'll move on in the meantime. A new world champion has been crowned in Ring of Honor.
Yes, it has. And it's not the one that you thought, anyway.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal has captured the Ring of Honor World title for a second time. Lethal defeated Cody, Matt Traven, and defending champion Dalton Castle in a fatal four-way match at last Saturday's television tapings in Fairfax, Virginia. It boiled down to Lethal and Castle following a Tower of Doom spot that took out Traven and Cody. The two traded near falls, but Lethal caught Castle with the lethal injection and pinned him to become the new champion. Castle held the title for 198 days, defeating Cody back at Final Battle 2017. He's been battling a number of injuries over the last few months since winning the title, battling both with a bad back and wrist. He previously retained the title at Friday night at Ring of Honor Best in the World. He defeated Cody and Marty Scurll in a triple threat match.
There you go. He's now the fourth man, as far as I can call, to be at least a two-time Ring of Honor World Champion. Can you guess the other? Can you guess the other three?
Multiple-time Ring of Honor World Champion.
So only three other people have been Ring of Honor Champion at least twice. At least twice. So more than once.
You have the list in front of you.
I do indeed.
Okay. Are any of them current WWE superstars?
One used to be, and one never was.
Okay.
That's like that. That's three.
CM Punk?
No.
Daniel Bryan?
No.
AJ Styles?
No.
Samoa? Joe?
Nope.
And one of them's currently
in WWE.
Show?
Who?
What show? What show was he on?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
Ah, come on.
It'll be a giveaway.
Come on.
NXT.
NXT?
It should be obvious then now.
Adam Cole?
Yes.
Ah.
He's only three-time champion.
Three-time champion. And then the other two used to be in WWE.
So one used to be in WWE, one never was.
Okay. And they all still currently wrestle?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Bubba?
No. But who?
Bubba Ray?
No.
Bully Ray?
No.
He was for a while, though.
Yeah, but he wasn't in...
I know, he wasn't double champion. Okay. Has any of them in Japan at the moment?
One no, but one maybe very rarely. So...
Very rarely?
Yeah.
I don't know, you have to tell me.
Jay Briscoe.
Really? That's a surprising one. Yeah, I would never have thought Jay Briscoe.
And Austin Aries.
Of course, Austin Aries. So Jay Briscoe is very rarely in Japan.
That's it. Yeah. He now and then he would appear in the odd special, like the Wrestle the Young Bucks or something like that. But no, I didn't mean to catch you out with that. But there you go. So.
Oh, you caught me out well, sir. Congratulations.
Yeah. But it's interesting now because certainly the story going into or concerning the World Championship lately has been the idea of Cody going into All In as Ring of Honor World Champion to face Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting about this is on their regular TV show. This was the day after their Best of the World cards, where Dalton Castle retains the title, as it said in the report there. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. Like, you know, but I'm delighted for Jay Lethal. Like, he is easily one of their best wrestlers. Like, he always, like, when we talk about like how a card should be, the guy who consistently creates the best matches should always be the champion. And like OTT is a great example of that. Jordan Devlin delivers day in, show in, show out. Yeah, and he's a very worthy world champion. And Jay Lethal is exactly the same for that in Ring of Honor. So he's a very worthy world champion. Yeah. That said, you know, like, where do you think this will go? Gone to All In? Do you expect Cody to go in now? Or
I think the match is still happening. I think
it's going to happen regardless.
Yeah, I think the match is still going to happen anyway between the two.
But it would be a title for title match if it was Cody was Ring of Honor World Champion. That's what makes it interesting.
I think it's still going to be for the NWA title though.
Oh, is it?
I think they're still going to do the match. Yeah.
We'll see what happens all the same though. So it's interesting times ahead. There's a few announcements. Speaking of All In, there's a few announcements in and out. Like we heard who was recently released from All In because she couldn't commit.
Is that Chelsea Green?
Is that her real name?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know her. What's her wrestler name again? Is it due to the tryout of WWE, by the way?
Yeah, she was at a tryout of WWE.
And that's why she's pulling out?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For the life
it's Zack Ryder's girlfriend, isn't it?
That's Zack Ryder's girlfriend?
Yeah. Chelsea Green, yeah.
I didn't, what's her wrestler name, though?
Good question.
You'll be shouting at the podcast back at us.
I know.
I'll tell you what, I'll get the name while you get on to the last bit of news. Results concerning Strong Style Evolved UK.
Yes, New Japan Pro Wrestling held their 2-night Strong Style Evolved UK cards with Milton Keynes last Saturday and in Manchester last Sunday, respectively. Significant results from night 1 included Tiger Mask 4 beating David Starr, Walter beating Yuji Nagata, Will Ospreay beat Kemaru, Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. retained their British tag team titles against Okada and Ishii. Significant results from night 2 included David Starr retaining the British Cruiserweight title against El Fantasmo, Tiger Mask 4 and Taichi Ishimori. Jay White beat Kyle Fletcher from Aussie Open. Zack Sabre Jr. beat Okada. And then in the main event, Minoru Suzuki won the British heavyweight title by beating Tomohiro Ishii, with Walter staring down Suzuki after the match.
I heard those last 2 matches in particular were very good matches, at least 4.5 star each or something like that. Yeah. So, like, and it goes.
I don't know this 4-star system. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm going by the 5-star system. Apparently, by
I don't get these stars. What are these stars?
Well, I got this report from somewhere in the Wrestling Observer. I don't know if it was Dave Meltzer or someone like that. Oh, excuse me. I completely forgot. I didn't forget. God forgive me. It wasn't.
So what? Try and put it in a language that I do know. So if these 4 stars,
so instead of stars, it's
what would
Mars
they be?
bars.
Oh, okay. So it's 4 Mars bars. Is it?
So I think someone gave Zack Sabre Jr. I think it was and Kazuchika Okada a 4.5 star, which to you is a 4.5 Mars bars.
Oh, so it's 4 Mars bars and a mini Mars bar.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I think they
that's a good match.
Yeah,
that's a good match.
And I think they gave Suzuki and Ishii 4 and 1.5, 4 Mars bars and 1.5 mini Mars bars.
Wouldn't that be right? 5 Mars, 5.5?
No, I'm going by your maths here.
No, that's not my maths. How would that be?
Well, 4 and 3/4 stars.
4 3/4 stars. Oh, okay. So 4 3/4 stars. See, that's not on my scale. I don't have a scale like that, so I can't. I'm gonna round it. I'm gonna round it up and go. So you're going for the full 5 Mars bars. Then with that,
really,
that's a big call if you're going full 5 Mars bars. I haven't seen the match, so I can't
do it by quarters.
I can't give these Mars. No, why would I go by quarters? That's just extending your scale just to put yourself out of a hole because you got a rate because you set up your ratings wrong in the first place. So why would I do that?
Why is your rated by chocolates?
Chocolate and nougaty centres.
It's
with a nice layer of caramel on top.
I have to check out this card though all the same though, because it's, for one, like Minoru Suzuki is now a double champion in Rev Pro now.
Yeah.
He's not only heavyweight tag champ, British tag champs with Zack Sabre Jr., but he's now heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
Imagine a match between him and Walter though.
that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's a match I'd love to watch.
Yeah.
Going back to what from the last story, Donna Pizarro.
Oh,
Deanna
her.
Yeah.
That's someone else. Sorry, Chelsea Green was actually at the ones as well. So
Yeah.
there's two there that's meant to be all in that have been at was our WWE tryouts.
Yeah, I'm just going by what.
The Donna, she's the Italian American.
That's exactly her.
Yes, yeah.
I'm trying to find the story here. It doesn't say exactly why she can't go on it.
She wasn't part. I think she just got signed. She wasn't at the tryouts. She just got signed.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Yeah.
because she was signed or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before we finish off the news, we both wanted to look back, and we last week we looked a bit in depth a bit more about Rich Swann being an Impact and the whole Enzo Amore thing being on Stone Cold's podcast. This week we want to look into a recent shoot from one Daniel Bryan. It was on the Gorilla Position podcast, and he had a bit of an interesting take on how WWE booked their things, or certainly how he sees things being booked with his feud with The Miz.
You were the Miz's rookie, hilariously.
Yeah.
You know, there is such an potentially the greatest story WWE has ever told over a long period of time. Imagine that video package going into a main event match at WrestleMania. Is that something you're up for?
I am definitely up for it. My question, you asked me that question. I will answer it with a question. Do you trust WWE with telling that story from now until WrestleMania 35? like what in the last
That's a
several
good
years
question.
has shown to you that something like that is possible here, and for it to be a
Okay, I will reply to that question. My answer is the last time they did that successfully over a long period of time was you in the build-up to WrestleMania 30. So if you're involved, you're the key ingredient here.
Yeah,
surely.
If something accidentally happens, and
if they've got no control over it,
if
then
they've got
they'll
no
do well.
control over it, it's possible that it can happen. But yeah, I think that would be awesome. I think it would be something that the fans would be excited to see. Whether or not we can prolong, because people want to see me punch Miz in the face. I want to punch Miz in the face. Whether we can prolong that on television for that period of time, I don't know.
Oh, I hope so. I hope.
So it goes on. So and that's that. Like, so it doesn't seem, or at least he's not fully convinced that like WWE have the ability to book something that long, that long term.
Yeah.
So does he have a point? In your opinion?
He does. He does. See, it's in a difficult situation, and I think Daniel's in a bit of a difficult situation as well, because from a report that I read last week, that WWE, we've seen recently that these sort of big matches that they've been putting Daniel Bryan in, obviously minus the whole Cass feud, have been basically thrown at us since he's come back. So we've gotten the Nakamura, we've gotten the AJ Styles, we've gotten Samoa Joe. Like, we're getting all these really, really good matches, Rusev included. And we've gotten Team Hell No coming back together.
Right.
Because WWE are, from what I hear, now obviously just reading reports, I don't have any inside sources. I wish I did. That'd be class. That'd be class though if it did.
We're going by first instinct here.
Yeah,
pretty much.
that they do not. They are still going on the basis that Daniel Bryan is not signing a new contract.
So you're thinking that like the reason that he's been booked in such a way, or at least bit by bit, or at least by months
all
by
these
months,
big matches are going through because
they
of
want his contract situation.
Because they want to put these matches on now, because they don't believe that he'll be there past September.
Okay, so if that's the case, if it's he signed a new contract going up to next April, which is around WrestleMania time, and then it give WWE all the ability in the world to at least consider long-term booking, would that solve the problem? And again, we're talking for argument's sake in the sense, where we don't know if this is actually happening, but let's say for argument's sake, this is what it took for this to be concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like, see, it's hard to know because we never know. In a way, it's a good thing. We don't know the contract status. I personally think it's a good thing because there's so much that's ruined on us as wrestling fans, I think, especially at this day and age.
Yeah.
Give us a bit of kayfabe here. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And in a way, I'd rather not know. And I'd rather like to believe that there's still bits going on. And we've seen hints of it.
Yeah.
Especially that gauntlet match where Miz came in and all furious and skull-crushing finale. And boy, imagine everyone wants to punch Miz in the face there. But I can understand why he has his doubts. I don't know if he looks back and looks at other people's situation in terms of long booking.
Yeah.
I imagine he looks at his point of view, or at least sure. But then again, you look at someone like Daniel Bryan, who has experience. He's one of the few wrestlers, certainly as you think right now in the main roster, in all of WWE, that has actually worked a long-term storyline.
Yeah.
Does it take someone like Daniel Bryan, or is there anyone else bar Daniel Bryan who's capable of that in WWE? Because we see it so often in New Japan, but what about WWE? It's a tough one, isn't it?
It's a tough one. It is really a tough one.
Well, who would you like to see do something like that, and what would work? Like we saw to a degree Seth Rollins with Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
That was one, and that did work, and I did enjoy the build-up for that match.
Well, like they said in that part there, the best long-term booking that they've done in the last while has been Daniel Bryan WrestleMania 30.
It's the most memorable.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they meant by the only one, but certainly the most memorable. So to take the most memorable one, or there's no one
in
to
recent history,
Bryan.
in terms of the best long-term booking in WWE, the best one that they've done is Ciampa and Gargano.
100%.
But I think that was forced upon them through Ciampa's injury.
Do you think so?
Mm-hmm. Do you not think they would have pulled the trigger on that as soon as possible if Ciampa hadn't injured his knee?
I'd like to think that
As soon as he turned on Gargano at NXT Chicago, he was out because he injured his knee.
But think about what Gargano has done after that. Could have easily happened as soon as that happened. It was better that it wasn't. Like when we look at it in hindsight.
Yeah.
But I guarantee it would have been just as good if he was uninjured. I don't think it would have made a difference personally. That's just my opinion.
But we're talking about the long-term booking scenario here.
Yeah, true.
The long-term booking wouldn't have been there.
Well, in that case, it's a compliment to NXT in a sense that they're still able to have that fresh in the minds of people, like after so long after it happens.
Well, to be fair, that wasn't NXT though that kept it fresh in the mind of people. It wasn't, because they never mentioned Ciampa. It was Ciampa that kept it fresh in the mind.
But the fact is, it was Gargano to a degree as well, because it was talked about for weeks. Even on certain rivalries he had, like remember the first match he had with Ciampa after his the whole turn, and as Alita Vega threw that DIY shirt at him.
Mm-hmm. True, that's a good point actually. Yeah. I forgot about that with the match, the first match with Almas. Yeah.
The point is that I'd like to believe there's so much talent in WWE, and we've heard so many times from them that their roster is as deep as it gets and as talented as it gets, and I agree.
But isn't that is that a bad thing?
It shouldn't
because
be.
they're the combination of having such a deep roster with having a different pay-per-view every month. Does that not hinder it then?
It shouldn't. Well, to be fair, that's the tools that WWE have. It's up to them as the bookers to make use of it.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, I can't agree with the booking has been the best. It's nowhere near as good as it was in the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Or even for argument's sake, the Ruthless Aggression Era. It was. I think there was elements of that were way better than right now.
Of course, there was. Yeah.
So that's where I think. Well, if it was better than it was then, I imagine Daniel Bryan would have so much more face, and that's my 10 cents on it anyway. So, how about yourself?
No, that's a good point.
All right, should we move on that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, meantime, we'll take a break, and when we return, we will start a review with WWE right after a short break.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
We're back here on the Kickout, your weekly pro wrestling guides. What's wrong with you? Too much cherry Monster.
Oh, I picked up a can of Monster and I thought it was grape.
It's lovely.
It's not. Cherry, ugh.
Yeah,
I hate cherry.
You haven't had enough Dr. Pepper in you.
Oh, God, I couldn't stand that either.
None pun intended.
Oh, I couldn't stand that either.
I think it's lovely. Anyway, let's continue on with our results of the week.
Oh my God! What the hell is going on? Oh my God!
It's a short and snappy show this week because we have nothing else really to talk about bar WWE really. Like like last few weeks we've had a lot of luxury. We're talking about all the previews and reviews and stuff like that. This week it's just WWE. So
Yeah.
So as for Raw itself, well, so here's the thing with Raw this week. You're better if you missed it. I don't think it would have made a difference at all.
Nope.
There's nothing important.
Nope. And you know what?
What?
I missed it and I read about it.
And you're thinking, it's worth the miss.
Yeah.
It's worth the miss.
Yep.
Is there anything to bring up with SmackDown? Raw, I just want to go through the
I have my good and my bad list. Let me have a look.
You go ahead. You go right ahead.
I actually have 2 from Raw this week, and they're both unfortunately on the bad list.
All right. The naughty list.
The naughty list. The Sasha and the Bailey counselling session.
Oh, for God's sake. Like, why? I can't understand. Listen,
Just let them fight.
I think that's everyone's diagnosis.
Yeah.
Who needs Dr. Shelley? Or your own opinion. We talked about earlier.
We talked about it last week when Angle said that he had to go to counselling. Why are you forcing 2 people who are after having a bad relationship with each other to go to counselling?
It's like
you didn't force other tag teams or other friends that broke up to go to counselling. You didn't see Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano in a counselling session.
Them in a counselling session. Especially
that would have been brilliant.
Especially the way Gargano is now. We'll get
I
onto that
would
bit
have
later.
watched it if it was those 2. Hell, I would have even watched it if it was Enzo and Cass. But these 2.
Doesn't make any sense. It's like as soon as we seen Bailey attack Sasha last week, it's like, remember when Barton and Lisa were trying to convince Homer they want to go to Itchy and Scratchy Land? They're all excited. Then Marge tells them, no, we're going to the bird sanctuary. It's basically the same thing as Kurt saying, Bailey, you're going to counselling. Remember that face that Barton and Lisa made? And they have a nest the size of a building. And their car looks like and their face looks like a Citroen then.
Oh,
So,
her face don't move. It's brilliant. Actually, you reminded me of that. That's brilliant. There's actually a meme about that because don't they go to?
I swear to God, I didn't read off that.
No, it's not because that. It's because the point later on in the episode where they're in trouble at Itchy and Scratchy Land, and then they're like, "Oh, we should have went to the bird sanctuary," but the birds got out and they're going crazy attacking people. And then Hans Moleman is in the phone booth asking, like, I need the biggest, I think it's like bird feeder you have.
No, that's
like,
too big.
No, that's too big. There's one there and I saw it during the week. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was like, hi, I need the coolest tag team you have. And then it goes to a picture of Too Cool and Rikishi. He goes, no, that's too cool.
Brilliant. No, but it's like it's like you say to yourself, Vince, we're dead. That's right, dead serious about just let Bailey and Banks fight.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, it was a bit entertaining with Shelby's bits, but just let them fight. Just let's not have that again, though. We talked about in the news, Bray Wyatt, the whole situation with the B Team and Hardy and Wyatt. I'm enjoying the impersonations of the B Team are doing.
Yeah.
As you said, it's very ironic.
As we said, with the whole connection
You
there.
know, Bo and Bray, the whole connection there.
That's such a show title this week. It's unbelievable.
Besides that, though, I'd like to think that I enjoyed Lashley and Reigns going back and forth, but I can't say I care. I can't say I can't. No, but that's the thing. I really can't say I care.
Yeah, there was so much Roman this week.
A lot of Roman, wasn't there?
So much. And now they're trying to make him the cool heel. Have you heard about that? They're trying to turn him into a heel, but
I thought they were trying to make him the sympathetic heel. Well, they make their minds up.
They're just doing anything at this stage, aren't they? Apart from turning him full heel. anything but turn him full heel.
It's like they're very. It's not even an option for them.
Yeah.
We say it so many times. Are you deaf? Are you sure you listen to the audience? Because
There's no point in it.
Yeah,
but
we could go on for days.
The other thing that I found bad about Raw this week, and I have to mention it again, seems to be like a running thing, unfortunately, and it's not his fault.
Right.
It's the position that he's put in, but it's Braun.
What's so bad about this week?
It's this whole porta potty thing again. It's this whole comedy thing. Like, this guy is Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
You know, he should be going out there just destroying people, not taking part in these comedy skits where he's putting people off the ramp. Like, he's basically being a bully. You know that, right?
Yeah.
He is being a bully to Kevin Owens for no apparent reason. Right? He might be angry at Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens wanted to try and team up with people to go after him at Money in the Bank. But he would have known that anyway because he's the biggest guy in the match.
Yeah.
Then the following week, Kevin Owens tries to apologise and just says, look, listen, I'm sorry I did that. Shake his hand and walk away. And then he doesn't do that. Then the next week, he flips his car over. For no reason. Flips the car over.
You're just a bully, Braun.
And now this week, Kevin Owens didn't want to be in the match with him, but then, or what is it? He was saying to Kurt Angle, it's like, he flipped my car over last week, so this week I'm in a match with him. What? Why? He flipped your car over, and now Angle puts you in a match with him.
I understand why they're trying to do it, Braun, in the sense where they're trying to make him a more broad performer. Not just a destroyer of people, but he has his funny elements as well. But this was poor because you're basically making a parody. He's basically making a parody of himself.
But the thing is, like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago,
it doesn't feel interesting.
Every match he's in has to have some sort of gimmick or some sort of parody. Now, whether that is them just trying to cover up some wrestling shortfalls that he may have,
we don't know.
But
he seems sharp
to
me.
If he's going to be, which is very likely going to be the case, right? If he's going to be the next Universal Champion, he can't always have these gimmick and comedy matches. If you're going to be Universal Champion, you're going to have 25-minute matches in the main event.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be putting him in long-standing matches against like really good people to show that he can actually be in these matches?
Maybe he is. Maybe they are hiding what we don't know of him.
Yeah.
It's hard to know. You may have a point, but we'll have to see what happens. I'd rather see it to believe it in that case. You know what I mean? One thing I want to mention before we go, the whole Finn and Corbin thing at the moment is a bit cheap. I like the cheekiness that Balor has lately.
Yeah.
We talk about a bully of Strowman. Here's Balor being a bit of a DICK. A bit grin on his face.
He's only giving back what he's only giving back.
I like no. I like it. It's like it's a bit of a childish thing. Again, like going back to a complete performance or a complete performer. That's a credit to Balor, in my opinion, because he's showing he's definitely improving in the mic in the sense like we weren't sure before. Maybe you could argue.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's definitely getting better. Maybe baby steps if you like, but definitely they've gotten there anyway. So
yeah,
we'll move on to SmackDown.
For me, the best part of SmackDown
Go on.
was seeing the fan in the background with the sign of the week. I've been to more WWE events than Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Loved it. Loved that part.
Sorry, that's a dedicated fan. Actually,
Yeah.
you don't even have to be a dedicated fan.
You just have to go to 2 events, you should be fine.
Yeah. But no, I like overall. This was a solid show. Good. The opening match and the main event were the best matches. Like what was it? Miz and Jeff Hardy.
And
Team Hell No, the Usos.
Yeah, Team Hell No. Speaking of Team Hell No, I wasn't a big fan of their in-ring interview. I wasn't a big fan of it.
And why is that?
I feel obviously like they always have to talk out their back, and they tried to sort of have some of the same comedy segments and stuff that they had when they were a team back then, but I felt it wasn't hitting with the crowd. It seemed a little forced.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I thought they sounded into it.
No, I didn't think so.
Now, is this for when you're in the ring or when they're backstage or both?
Backstage was better, but in the ring it seemed like a little forced. I don't know whether it's just Kane couldn't come up with witty replies, or neither could Daniel, but there was some setups there for some comedy segments, but I didn't think they hit. The crowd weren't laughing with it either, and I didn't find myself laughing with it. Obviously, I did like the part later on with the, oh, you're like a brother to me. You set your other brother on fire. You know, that was funny, obviously, but the stuff in the ring I just didn't think hit.
Maybe you're right. It was a good match, though. I liked it because, like, and it's a rivalry a match you'd like to see more of. Like, certainly Brian and the Usos together, you'd like to see more of that in the future. Like, you know, so it's an interesting thing between them and the Bludgeon Brothers. So I'm for that match. The
Usos promo coming out of it though was pretty good with the, hey, hug me 3 times.
Now
1,
to get
2,
4 shots.
3.
Yeah.
Now we get 4 shots at the tag team title, man.
Are you saying we need to hug each other to get a tag team title shots?
Maybe if we hug each other, maybe Darren and Nate will give us a shot at those Irish tag team titles.
Oh god, you're trying to kill us.
What?
Trying to kill us?
Maybe you.
Oh, great.
I'll do the whole, you can be in the ring, you can be like the Roman Reigns thinking you can do everything.
Meanwhile,
I'll be Bobby on the side.
No, you won't. You'll be Bobby.
And then I'll be Bobby on the side, and then like you come to tag me and I'll just hop off.
Yeah, but rather than reaching for a tag, you'll be puking into a bucket. So...
yeah, like they give you a bucket.
If you're lucky, I suppose.
Yeah.
Becky keeps on winning. The thing about Becky at the moment, you think her winning all these
that could be
matches-
like your Tajiri thing.
What?
You know how Tajiri had the green mist? You could have the vomit.
That's disgusting, man. That's disgusting.
Whatever wins us those titles, man. Doesn't matter. Any means necessary.
It's going to be memorable, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Give the first like 2 rows ponchos, because that is the splash zone.
It's like smashing grapes or something like that.
It's like SeaWorld.
Something like that. Yeah, you know what I mean. Becky keeps as one of the match now. The thing with Becky is like even though
Becky's on
winning,
a quiet run at the moment.
What?
She's on a very quiet run.
I know, but do you feel it's going to go anywhere? That's my biggest fear.
No. Doubt it.
We can only hope so. One thing I'd like to compliment last week, because I was very I found this questionable the week before. Sanity getting back on track and attacking the New Day, which I think is a good thing, and I'll tell you why. Because it was Sanity who were getting all this promotion, only back now, and really getting, it was like their first appearance like at all on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And New Day beat them last week.
Yeah.
Here they are coming for revenge, and at a situation which suits the New Day, all this pancake eating contest, and I like that. So overall, I enjoyed SmackDown. Anyway, it was a good flow to the show. So
yeah, it was a better show than Raw anyway.
Oh, miles better.
But that's the common thing.
Let's talk about now 205 Live. And this was an excellent show, but mainly for one reason.
Oh yes.
By probably, for me anyway, the best match I've ever seen 205 Live. Which is a compliment in the sense that we've seen a lot of good matches lately. But this match between Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy, if I were you, I'd consider at least 4 Mars bars. At least.
Tell you what.
I knew it.
Play it, and I'll think of it while you're doing that.
Go right ahead.
Forget those Meltzer stars.
Meltzer stars.
You want Daragh Maher's bars?
Mars bars.
F*** Uncle Dave stars.
Meltzer stars.
It's all about Daragh Maher's bars.
Mars bars. You know, I never thought we'd find a situation to play the show this week, but there you go.
Yeah, I know. Any chance for that sting?
How happy are you now? Okay. Mustafa Ali, Buddy Murphy, no disqualification.
Yes.
205 Live.
That's definitely a 4 Mars bars match.
4 Mars bars.
4 Mars bars match. And no, I can't do it. I can't. No, I can't. I was going to go for the mini Mars bar to add into it. But,
okay.
But no, I'm going to leave it to 4 Mars bars.
The spots on this match though were crazy, like that one where
just at the start, even
the start
straight away before Buddy Murphy can come into the ring,
straight
gets
after
taken off, gets hit off the apron,
and top rope sent on right into the floor.
Exactly.
But there's such good stuff. Was when Murphy fought back, Murphy runs on the barricade, but Murphy cuts him off, slams him on the ramp in such a way which sounds awful, and then suplexes him again on the ramp to maintain control. The bumps they take are just ridiculous.
I know. the stuff they did with just the bottom set of ring steps was unbelievable.
Yeah, they're so creative with only the small, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen like a cruiserweight style match with that sort of environment before. I don't remember one like that anyway.
Yeah.
Where they're so creative in the way they use their surroundings, or at least surroundings outside the ring, if you like.
Yeah.
You're like, we see our barricades and we see maybe stuff with the tables, but we don't see stuff with the steel steps.
No.
Small things like that.
Stuff like that. And then obviously the Spanish fly
Oh
from
my
the
God.
from the guardrail onto the announcer's table
Literally
itself.
this type of thing.
I am the table.
Now I've been waiting to play that for weeks.
I was going to say, do you think the table was meant to break, or was it meant to stay like that?
I like to think it was meant to break.
Yeah.
Definitely meant to break. It's
Yeah.
definitely I am the table moments for sure.
I don't think it was. I think it was actually meant to stay like that, because if they did the Spanish fly like that and it had to go all the way down to the ground, I think that could have potentially hurt them more.
Think so?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But like other moments include that superplex where they're on where Ali was on the steps, and the referee had to hold the steps in the ring. Mm-hmm. I never seen anything like that before.
Even just to finish with the tilt-a-whirl.
Oh my
Tornado
God
DDT.
almighty. Brilliant finish.
Unbelievable.
You know what? You know who I compare Buddy Murphy to now a wee bit now? He's a bit of a... I feel like this is going to be a strange comparison. He's sort of like if Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi had a child. The golden child. Think about it.
Yeah.
Very similar style.
The golden child.
There you go.
Also should mention what the dive he did outside the ring when he just leaped off the steel step.
Yeah. God almighty.
That is definitely a Kota Ibushi thing, alright.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, this match showed this phenomenal.
That is a great. I'm
chemistry.
thinking about that comparison more. That's a great comparison.
It's a high praise, but just thinking about it, when we look at the style of Ibushi and the style of Omega, and look at Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, I have to give
Anyone listening at home and just look at Ibushi and Omega, and then look at Buddy Murphy and tell me if I'm wrong.
have to give Buddy Murphy serious props though,
100%.
because of the fact that he was in obviously one of the most successful tag teams in NXT for their time.
Yeah.
Blake and Murphy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It was Blake and Murphy. And then they broke up, and then they were both lost for a while, and we didn't know what was going to happen with them. And I myself was waiting for the day to hear that either one or both of them had been released, because they weren't doing a lot of single stars. Let's be real. Murphy tried to keep his sort of trance Skrillex sort of entrance type and everything like
I love
that.
that. I love his theme music. To be fair.
But his team music, yeah. But he just changed himself. He hit that gym hard. He got into that 205 Live division, and he is just showing how good he is.
And he's come into it like with such a good heel mentality, very bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Who said the promo before that he's willing to he's willing to send Ali to hospital in order to win and get back at the title. So, and it showed how great the chemistry was. Like it's a must see match to check out. Like violence. Again, we played the stipulation very well. Their characters were excellent. Obviously, the bloodthirsty heel of Murphy, but Ali, who's by far the best babyface in 205 now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think what we have to see, because considering next week the match is going to be a Tommy against Alexander for the
Ali
title.
against the winner.
No, first of all, I want to see this title being defended at Extreme Rules,
Which I doubt.
which I do, but I still
Which is a shame.
even kickoff show will do. The kickoff show will do.
Yeah.
But I want to see a fatal four-way.
Oh, that'd be a match.
I want to see these four in a fatal four-way at Extreme Rules.
Think about how class of a match that would be on the first show on Extreme Rules or any pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And that is how WCW made a name for themselves in the mid-90s.
With their cruiserweight division.
With the cruiserweight
exactly.
division that had that impact at the start.
Yeah.
Honestly, here's a request. Use the cruiserweights as your opener all the time.
Yeah.
Especially, like, maybe even for Raw. They're supposed to be at Raw at one stage. What happened there? This is perfect. We don't need to see.
Cruiserweights are exclusive to Raw.
We don't need to see Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley talk about something we don't care about.
Don't need to see Roman Reigns in 2 promos and 2 matches on Raw.
Yeah, which in that case, well, although we try to like Reigns, it doesn't help his case.
Yeah.
Here's a match, right? Again, going back to Ali. Here's why he's a good face. He's flashy, which pleases the crowd. He's gutsy because he has to be, and he's resilient because you can't help but get behind him. Fantastic match. You're doing a huge. I tell you what, you'll be doing a huge disservice if you don't watch this match. This is for me probably one of the best matches WWE produced this year.
Yeah.
Certainly outside of NXT, because NXT has been owning it, but outside of NXT and WWE, this is probably. I don't know if I put it as the best match, but I don't know.
I don't think it's beaten like the Ciampa Gargano match.
Oh, definitely not. No. But it's definitely an argument for the best match outside of NXT and WWE. If that makes sense, definitely an argument for that. Other things I just want to bring up concerning 205 Live. I like the angle they're doing with CJ Perkins, where he lost Noam Dar inside like a minute, and now all this arrogance that he had over the last few weeks is now gone under, and these guys come up and if you like. And also now a potential rivalry between Tozawa
I can't buy into
Rush.
the whole TJP thing. I think it's just a lost gimmick at this stage with him.
But this is fresh. This is something fresh to add to it, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't work with this whole video gaming thing. If he's meant to be a heel, it doesn't work. Like the video game entrance and stuff like that. Change the entrance. I'll believe it more then.
I see what you mean.
I know he's into his games and he loves his games and stuff. But look at Xavier Woods. He has a gaming channel, one of the most successful ones on YouTube. But he's not using it in his entrance every week, is he?
Not.
You know, so I think he needs to have a look at that.
What do you think of the idea of Tozawa and Leo Rush? That's a rivalry.
Should be a good one, yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to that match. Again, there's such good things happening in 205 Live, like, you know, so it's definitely a show, a must-see show to check out.
Yeah.
Me and Rick from Low Blows, we had a bit of a back and forth on Twitter about it, where because he didn't mention this match on his on the show, and I was asking, well, how come is that? Because it's for me the best match by far this week, and he made the points that, and it's a very valid point because we can relate to this. There's so much to watch during the week, especially with Impact and Lucha Underground. On occasion, we don't cover that, but like at the same time, all this on top of like your life isn't always the easiest thing to watch over. Especially in his case, where he believes that there's all these multi-man matches for maybe this interested crowd. So he has a point.
Yeah.
But in this case, you know, I urge him to watch this match, like, you know. But there's enough there to watch, like
even if you just keep a track of the main event scene, you don't have to watch the whole. Like I myself, I heard about how good the match was between Murphy and Ali from Twitter and yourself. You got on to me as well about it, and I've been paying attention more to the I skipped through the show and just got to
that's fine
the main event because that is the match I want to see, and I'm interested by the main event scene that's going on there at the moment because Buddy Murphy's so good and Mustafa Ali and obviously Cedric as well, both of them having the friendship. So I think even just having a look at the main event scene is fine for 205 at the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now NXT overall this was solid, but for one main reason, all the guys who won are back on the rebound, if you like. Yeah, Dakota Kai, the Mighty, Velveteen Dream, and Johnny Gargano all on the rebound, which is what they needed, big time.
Yeah.
Considering their losses at the recent shows, like you had Dakota Kai who won against Santana Garrett. You had the Mighty picking up with beating Heavy Machinery, or just Otis by himself, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they did a video package beforehand.
Yeah.
Where I can't remember the other guy's name.
Tucker.
Thank you. Got attacked at the Performance Center beforehand. Yeah. So he had to do the match by himself. We didn't see the attacker, but obviously two guesses to determine who it was. Yeah, I have to give big props to, like, obviously we say it every time he wrestles, but it's not just the wrestling. It's for the promo afterwards that would have been a YouTube exclusive.
Yeah.
It's Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, I only saw this before we went on air, and because I just watched NXT a bit without that. And by guy's a different person.
Do you think we should play it?
If you give us a minute there.
Yeah. Well, I'll just... Obviously, Gargano sort of... You can see he's changed in his demeanour with his match with EC3. By the way, EC3 seems to be getting into a bit of a thing with the Velveteen Dream at the moment as well, after Velveteen running out on him in a tag team match at the UK Championship. But Gargano was a lot more aggressive this week. he wasn't his usual self at all.
Yeah.
Even exposing his knee for his knee strike at one stage too. A similar DDT he finished the match with to the one that Ciampa finished him with at NXT Chicago as well.
Yeah, ZT.
DDT off, like hanging off the second rope. So then after NXT went off the air, there was a YouTube exclusive promo, and this just sets up perfectly about what's going to happen. I think you have it ready there.
Yeah,
do you?
ready there.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll play it.
What sent me to that? What hasn't sent me to that? What haven't I been through? Tommaso Ciampa wanted to take everything away from me. He said he was going to take my career. He said he was going to take my health. He wanted to take everything I love away from me. And I wouldn't let him do it. I didn't let him do it. And then Chicago, when he ripped the wedding ring from my finger, spit on it, threw it in the crowd, and still won. He still won. When everything was said and done, his hand was raised and he won, and he got everything he wanted. He beat me. He took everything away from me. I walked out. I didn't leave in an ambulance, but I walked out, and I walked through that curtain a different person. I woke up that next morning, and I looked in the mirror, and I didn't know who was looking back at me anymore. Johnny Wrestling is gone. I don't know who I am anymore. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. I don't know what it is. Out there tonight, I don't know what that was. Something just happened. And you know what they say. Be careful fighting the darkness, because you may become the very darkness you're fighting.
Great line.
Maybe that's true. Maybe it's true.
And if you look at the look on his eyes throughout the whole thing as well, I mean, he genuinely means it.
There's like nothing behind it.
Nothing behind it.
He's not there at the moment.
It's
And
so interesting.
I guess it didn't help, I should say, that NXT also announced in 3 weeks' time that the NXT Championship is on the line, with Tommaso Ciampa going up against Aleister Black.
Yeah, like he's literally descending to madness right now.
Yeah.
He is, and Ciampa has basically, he said it, or Ciampa Gargano's become something he never wanted to be. What he hates the most now. So, and Regal has booked him to try and move on. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. He could get into a lot of trouble by the way things are going, but we'll have to see what happens. Going back to the Mighty, it's kind of strange that how different the ring attire is now as well. Like, it's a good comp, and it's great for them being heels, but they've gone from Aussie Rules players to just wrestlers now.
Yeah.
Because they're Aussie Rules players with their top.
Pretty much. They're gone full heel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You wanted to credit Chris Dijak now on his match with
I enjoyed first of all, I enjoyed the fact that he was on TV.
Yeah.
It was good to see him there, and I thought he had a good match. He, I think this was a match to show that he is here now on NXT, and I think he can start having maybe a feud with someone. I think he can start maybe having a prolonged run on NXT TV, because he signed a good while ago, and he's seen others sign after him that have been on TV as well than him, and he's had to bide his time a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think now that he's ready for it.
Well, we talked about the top 5 possibilities for Velveteen Dream a couple of weeks ago, right? And it looks like now Velveteen Dream,
which you can watch on YouTube, on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
The Kick Out on YouTube, and on our Facebook.
We're talking about all that.
Facebook.com/The Kick Out Live.
Looks like now Velveteen Dream could be going up against EC3 now, by the looks of things now. Cause
looks like it, yeah.
A bit of saltiness now after the tag match last week.
Yeah, like I was mentioning there while you're getting the video up, that that while Velveteen was celebrating his win, EC3's music came out because his match was the next match, and he didn't give him any time to celebrate.
Yeah, and he didn't look too happy either.
So did he have the mindset of, you'll walk out on our tag team match, so I'll walk in on your celebration?
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I like it. But that said, now it leaves Dijak. But we also there's another guy who you mentioned in the top 5 that I think would have an excellent rivalry with Dijak, and that's Keith Lee.
yes.
And of course, their matches were historic from last year. Their match in particular at PWG was one of the matches of the year. So what better match than that to really start off both men's ventures in NXT?
Mm-hmm. I'd be all for that.
Yeah,
That I think they would have some great matches.
like who wouldn't want to see two big men doing being spot monkeys? You know,
I for sure would not mind watching these two at all.
Absolutely.
It all depends on when they decide that they're going to debut Keith Lee anyway. So
hopefully it's sooner rather than later anyway. So I can't imagine, like, if they do an announcement like they did with Keith Lee, it can't be too far away.
yeah,
Like all the guys they announce, Chris Dijak wasn't one of them, but all the guys they announce on the takeovers can't be too far away. They'll be over the next few weeks, surely.
I would think so.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway, that's all the results. Now let's move on now to our previews of the week.
Why, look at what we have here, folks!
Now, before we announce the previews that we originally were about to mention, you yourself, Daragh, just received some breaking news concerning Fight Factory, which announced some big news for their Grapple Game show.
Yes, we all know that episode 6 Grapple Games is coming up soon. Of course, in the Sean O'Casey Centre in East Wall. August 10th, of course, tickets are available at eventbrite.ie. I think they're only €10 as well, which is always a great price. And it's on a Friday, always cool too. Great way to start the weekend with a bit of wrestling. But major announcement this week, and a huge one. I'm really excited to see this because I've never seen him wrestle live, and I can't.
Have you not?
Nope.
You weren't there when you wrestled Michael May?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I wasn't there. Wasn't there, unfortunately. Obviously, I wasn't there in Cork when he was meant to, but neither was he, unfortunately, either. So, but yes, Doug Williams is going to be at Grapple Games 6.
Cool for them.
Very big coup. Very big coup. And I'd encourage anyone who is not sure about whether or not they want to go to this. First of all, why are you double thinking about going to this show?
Just do it.
Just do it.
As the ad says, just do it.
Secondly, this is one of the last times you'll be able to see Doug Williams wrestle live. Perhaps even the last time in Ireland
Very possibly.
you'll ever see him wrestle live.
Because he's at the tail end of his career now.
Exactly. He's doing that thing in progress at the moment with the Atlas Championship, that if he loses, he retires. So any match could be his last match, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like Ric Flair a few years ago. Wasn't
Yeah. If you lose, and then it was Shawn Michaels that did it with the... Yeah, let's not talk about that.
it? Get emotional here.
I'm sorry, Dave. I love you.
You're okay, don't kick. I'm flattered by that. I feel like I'm about to blush before you kick me in the face.
But yeah, so Doug Williams is going to be at Grapple Game 6.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Get your tickets. Please. Well, not please. Just make sure you get your tickets. I don't have to say please. Just get your tickets.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get those tickets.
So it's a great addition to a great show already coming up very soon. We'll get to that as it comes along, but in the meantime we have so many other events to talk about over the next couple of weeks. First of all, Over the Top Wrestling are back tonight for possibly their last show ever in the Tivoli Theatre in Dublin, for That Ring Really Ties the Room Together. This show is completely sold out, so those lucky enough to have a ticket, tonight we'll be checking out the following cards. Jordan Devlin to defend his OTT world title against number 1 contender Mark Haskins. Trent Seven and Session Martina to take on Genie and TK Cooper in a mixed tag match. Speedball Mike Bailey, who we haven't seen since his epic match with Keith Lee a few months ago in OTT, is back against Lucha Underground and Jellico. The Rapture, former OTT Tag Team Champions, will be taking on old rivals, the Angel Cruisers. In a 3-way women's match, Valkyrie, Verda Scott and Raven Creeds will be there. And also Damon Corvin, in the middle of his new single run, is now going up against Germany's Lucky Kids. So definitely an awesome card to check out there. if you're lucky enough to have a ticket for that. Now, also this weekend, on Sunday, July 8th, in the S13 in Belfast, will be PWU's Live at the Compound show. Tickets are still available at tickettailor.com. They're only announced their matches for this during this week. We didn't really get any idea of the matches until then, but there's some pretty good matches announced. A lot of debuts announced as well. So you have Nathan Byrne taking on Puento. Flight Modes from Cork will be making their first PW appearance against the Enterprise. Another debut, Young Lion will be taking on former PW champion Rocky Star. In a non-title match, PW heavyweight champion Tim Steed will take on Matt Grimshaw. In a 6-person tag team match, Lauren LaRue and Team New School will take on the team of Lady Valkyrie, Kano and Dude Rhodesville, aka the Rocky Star Experience. And there's also a CPWA Tag Warfare qualifier. Now, in a couple of weeks will be their Tag Warfare show that'll be happening on the 29th of July. The winning team for this match, the new teams haven't been announced yet, will be taking part in that match there. So we don't know any more beyond that, but we'll let you know as it comes. Also happening on Monday, July 16th, back in Buskers at the Ball Temple Bar, will be Low Blows for their return to their No Spoiler Mondays, this time for WWE Extreme Rules. Tickets are available at eventbrite.ie for free for Low Blows Network subscribers. Temple Bar prices, no Temple Bar prices, for booze. Low Blows special cocktail and shot menu also available. Pre-entertainments from 6 p.m, including a WWF No Mercy tournament, which they only announced the specifics of the matches. Apparently they're having cage matches and ladder matches as it gets sooner.
Yeah, it's
or going to the finals, if you like.
It's an 8-man tournament, so starting with the quarterfinals, just be a normal singles match.
Yeah.
The semi-finals would be cage matches, and I think the final will be a ladder match.
Should be awesome anyway. Finally, we want to talk about Main Stage Wrestling, who are back for a gym show on Saturday, July 21st.
Also, sorry, I know you mentioned about the Extreme Rules, just the No Spoiler Monday.
Yeah, sorry.
Just on that train of thought, Baron Corbin and Finn Balor have been made official for Extreme Rules.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. By the way, did you notice that like only 2 matches on the Extreme Rules card is in any way a stipulation match?
Oh, it's only 2 Extreme Rules matches?
Not even extreme. One of them's the Iron Man match for the Intercontinental title.
That's going to be a match.
That's going to be a great match. And the women's match
Nia Jackson's
is falls count anywhere, no DQ.
Nice.
So it's non-Extreme Rules.
Non-Extreme Rules.
Non-Extreme Rules.
We'll go back to this again.
Yeah, non-Extreme Rules. I know we give out about it every year when it's on.
But
why don't they just change the name then?
They should.
You know?
Don't call Hell in the Cell Hell in the Cell anymore.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, don't say where in the promo video for Extreme Rules is the one night of the year WWE gets Extreme, because it's not.
For 2 matches.
For 2 matches.
For 1 match in this case as well. So it's far worse.
Anyway, go ahead.
As I was saying, Main Stage Wrestling's gym show will be taking place Saturday, July 21st at Main Stage Wrestling's Training Academy at Calmore Park North in Ballyfermot. Tickets are €8 at the door. People announced include Angel Cruz, Terry Thatcher, Fabulous Nikki, Scotty Davis, Club Tropicana, Amy Alonzi, Rough Stuff, Gunter Isaac, Callum Black, Cowboy Jim West, and P. Rick Security, all set to appear on that one. But that's our previews of the week. Now let's finish off our show, as always, with our yes-nos.
Yes! No! Yes! No! Yes! No!
There's a few yes-nos this week, so let's get to them now. So first of all, Dolph Ziggler, who I think has been an awesome run so far with Drew McIntyre, and now is Intercontinental Champion. So him to stay on to WWE despite his contract expire soon. Now, we had a similar situation with him last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or was it the year before?
No, I'd say that they're just going to finally cut the cord.
Think so?
Yeah. More because I'd like to see it happen than... I'd like to see him leave. And I'd like to see him go to Japan and be a member of Chaos.
Be a member of Chaos?
Yeah. Because everyone would say Bullet Club straight away.
Well, here's the thing. If he joins Japan, I don't think he'll join Chaos or Bullet Club or LIJ or Suzuki Gun. Chris Jericho, if you've seen the last episodes of
I saw it.
Of Being Deletes.
Alpha Club. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
They need more members.
Yeah. But
in a way,
if that's the case, then wouldn't the Young Bucks have to leave Bullet Club then?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, see?
There's more to that. We'll get.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I
that
just
as it
think
goes
him
on.
and Chaos with like Osprey and Okada would be fantastic.
But they already have so many members, so that's the thing. I'd rather him.
All the factions have so many members.
I'd rather him in Suzuki Gun, actually.
Suzuki gonna be good. It depends on what Dolph Ziggler we see. Is a heel or face?
Well, he's better as a face. Oh, either way, I
Yeah.
think it'd suit him down to the grounds.
No, because you wouldn't be a face if you're in Suzuki Gun. That's just a heel faction.
I'm enjoying his thing with Drew Galloway at the moment, so I'd rather he stayed. But if he leaves, he leaves. Like, because Drew Galloway would be fine without him.
Yeah.
We've said it for many. I think we have that common mindset with him.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see what happens. Now, NXT to be in US TV. Now, there's been a lot of speculation now, especially with the Fox deals with Raw and SmackDown over the next couple of years, for NXT now to be in national TV in America.
Someone tweeted about that saying expect NXT TakeOver New York to be on USA TV or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd keep it on the network. I think it's better on the network. I think if it's on a weekly show, then they don't get to do the sort of programs they want to do.
They still have an hour content, so I'm not sure. Maybe you're right in the sense that the commercials could make it worse. So maybe, yeah, in that way, I agree with you. And it would be the same with 205 Live. I think they'll have the same problem.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why SmackDown and Raw falls short, because of those commercials.
Yeah.
It takes so much away from it. So maybe you're right there.
Of course I'm right.
A women's tag division to be in WWE. Becky Lynch now is making murmurs about this, I think, during the week.
Yeah. She said she brought the plan to Vince about it. I'd like to see it happen. They definitely have enough women to do it.
They do. How would it work? Would it be both Raw and SmackDown having a women's division, or a unified for both brands?
I don't know how they'd work it out.
Who would you think would be first champions? Imagine if it was Bayley and Banks.
Come on
despite
now.
all this whole thing.
How am I supposed to guess that?
Bayley and Banks.
Oh,
Despite all the fighting, they somehow are tag champions.
could be Bailey. Hell, it could be the Iconics, you know?
It could be DeVille and Rose. It could be...
It could be Riot Squad. It could be anyone.
It could be Riot Squad. Well, once they stop causing mischief...
It could be Becky and Charlotte for all we know.
Absolutely.
You know?
Shayna Baszler to soon be called up to the main roster.
She was at Raw this past Monday.
She was.
I don't know. If it happened after SummerSlam, maybe.
Do you feel her progress is getting so good now where she could be in the main roster very soon?
I think that they feel that the time is now for her to move forward. I think maybe she's... Not that she's too big for NXT, but I think that the fact that if they want to start building that 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen match, they're going to have to start putting them on the main roster.
That's true.
So she's had a bit of time in NXT. She had a bit of time as the champion. She is building at the moment for this great fall. Like, if there's ever a question, the answer is the same. She in her promo this past week. So she's building herself for that fall to lose the championship. So it could happen after SummerSlam.
Sami Singh, to return to WWE.
Looks like it. He's back training.
He is looking good as well.
So it looks like he's been cleared. So it's all depending on what the hell they're doing with this. Can we actually talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on with Jinder?
Don't know.
So he loses to Roman Reigns and becomes this guy that wants to find inner peace.
Which is ironic.
I thought it is ironic because he had this same gimmick
before
when he first came back.
Before he won the title.
Yeah.
I remember.
He was this guy finding inner peace and stuff like that, and he wasn't going to be angry anymore. Then he wins the title. Then he loses to Roman Reigns. And now he's finding that inner peace again.
Maybe inner peace to Vince is...
Is this the signal now that this Jinder run is over?
Possibly.
Is that it now?
If that's the case, then let the Sings go to the 205.
What will they do there, though?
If they start a tag team division, which was mentioned before, perfect. No?
No, they won't do that. They keep them with Jinder.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Finally, and this is a really strange one, Kenny Omega to appear on Impact. There's been huge rumours about this. Or you talked about it in a recent interview, I think.
Don Callis did.
Yes.
Because he's good friends with... Kenny and Don Callis are really good friends. They've known each other since Kenny started wrestling.
Yeah.
I think what was it, Kenny's uncle actually taught Don Callis how to wrestle as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then Don taught Kenny how to wrestle. So there's a huge, like, this goes back years and years. So,
What do you think?
I wouldn't, like, Impact is definitely in better hands since Don Callis took over. Like, a couple of appearances isn't going to hurt him, like.
I suppose. And we did see Bullet Club members appear on Impact before. Well, most notably Cody.
Yeah.
And that was when he was just starting to join the Bullet Club. So, but then again, I don't know. See, the way they're
Impact is trying to build its reputation
and
up
it
again.
is, and
It's doing a better job.
And it's doing a fantastic job lately. I haven't seen too much of their work lately, but it's definitely a work in progress.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the Lucha Underground's roster being involved. So,
yeah,
I have to say it's a believer for me. We'll have to leave it there anyway. On the Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guides right here on 90.3 Near FM, the EMC Podcast Network, and all good podcasting providers including iTunes and Spotify. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at The Kickout Live and on both Facebook and Instagram at The Kickout Wrestling. Check us out on iTunes and Spotify and YouTube for all our podcasting contents. My Twitter then on Dave Bandana and Dar's at
Mars Bar.
And that's it. It's been a quiet show this week, but to be fair,
It's been a quiet week.
Yeah, but it's grand, like, you know, because it's one of these ones where we get to recharge the batteries because we have a lot more to talk about next week, don't we?
Next week is going to be jam-packed.
It is indeed, because next week we have July 6th to review. We'll have, which is actually yesterday, but we're gonna have to review this week. Next week we'll have OTT to review, and we'll also have another prediction league coming up as well.
Yeah, we do, because of
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules, yes. So we got a busy week.
Indeed,
so
we do.
We'll get our energy levels back up to green, and then get ready for this.
More Cherry Monster for yourself, yeah?
Oh God.
So I'll have to come for next week, but until then, I've been Dave Cullen, he's been Daragh Maher, this has been The Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guides. Thank you so much for listening.